Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here at Phoenix Raceway for both the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series. Very excited to get this one underway, and today we actually will be showing off the Pepsi scheme on the racetrack for the first time this season. Of course, that one as well made by my good friend Renato there now. But first, before we get into the Cup Series side of things with the number 24 car, we have the Xfinity Series race to take care of here for the LS Tractor 200 here at Phoenix Raceway. And as you guys know, we started up an Xfinity team at the start of this season, and it's basically a team for myself as well as our Hendrick Motorsports teammates to just kind of drive throughout the season. And I've driven all of the races so far, but coming into Phoenix, we actually had Chase Elliott in the car for us here today at Phoenix Raceway, and still a little bit of work to do on this race car, on this race team, if we want to get our team to be competitive enough to win races. So we weren't coming into Phoenix expecting any opportunity to go and win this race here, as Chase started just behind that 51 of Jeremy Clements, but it was Michael Annett up front at this point now, as he's had a strong start so far to this season here on the Xfinity Series. There's the 18 would get up his inside there on the exit of turn 4. There you see Derek Kraus, the rookie behind him there. There's a bit of a moment there with the 51 slowing up, so that actually allowed Chase to get in front of them, and he would just try to work his way forwards, but just with the lack of speed in this car, he definitely struggled and really only was able to get to Justin Allgaier and make a pass on him as it came through out of turn 4. This was already quite late in the race when he was finally able to start really getting up into the mix of things here as he went down towards turns 1. He actually made contact with Allgaier, sending him sideways, but the 7 would save it. That was an affiliate teammate too in the Xfinity Series, but would come straight through to the final lap here in Phoenix. A very uneventful Xfinity Series race here, especially for Chase Elliott now as he came through out of turn 4 just in front of the 11 of Justin Haley as he came through to cross the line there here in the LS Tractor 200 in the 9th position. So a top 10, which was nice for him to get now, as you see Michael Annett with the victory here, as the 22 of Kevin Magnussen in his first season on the NASCAR side of things actually came runner-up there in the 2nd position. So a very strong effort for Magnussen now, as you see the rest of the finishing order with Colby Howard at the very bottom now as we get ready to go green here on the Cup Series weekend. So like I mentioned, we got the Pepsi colors on the car. There you see the beautiful Pepsi paint scheme that Renato made for us here to run this season. Now as we get into qualifying now, the goal was a 26.128, and usually a track like Phoenix, I think we were going to kind of get close to that goal, but we usually qualify about around the 10th position or so when we run just a superb lap here at Phoenix as we came through down into turns 3 and 4, a little bit below that yellow line. I usually like to get lower, but I didn't quite hit it like I wanted to, and we come through out of turn 4, actually just ever so slightly getting into the outside wall, but we get a 26.095 and qualify P10 here for the Fan Shield 500 at Phoenix Raceway. So a solid qualifying effort now in what has been so far a solid season to start our new chapter at Hendrick Motorsports now, as Alex Bowman, our teammate, finds himself on pole. You also see Brandon Jones, Bubba Wallace are just behind us. I have gone into the ratings once again and increased the ratings for drivers like Bubba Wallace lately coming into the season. Now, as you see, still the numbers aren't corrected. I actually went to change them and I did it incorrectly. So I hopefully will have this fixed relatively soon now. It's a bit of a hiccup there, but I'm trying to get that issue resolved now as we get ready to go green here in the Fan Shield 500. It's been a strong start to the season, boys. I think we can come here and hopefully get a little bit of redemption from what happened to me last time at this racetrack. Let's go have a good one today. And there you heard my radio transmission. Now, if you forget what happened last time at this racetrack for me, we actually DNF'd in a chance to win the championship. But there you see the stories of the race. Now, Anthony Alfredo, he crashed during qualifying, so he's starting at the back along with another rookie of Austin Cindric, who failed pre-race inspection. So here we are starting in the 10th position alongside the number 42 of Ross Chastain as we're ready to take the green flag here in the Fan Shield 500 at Phoenix Raceway, as Alex Bowman, our teammate in the number 48 car, leads the field to the green flag as we are underway just behind Chase Briscoe in his 2nd season of his Cup Series career. Of course, as you guys know, we are in our 3rd season of a Cup Series career now as we go down into turns 1. Brandon Jones up the inside in that number 96, one of the rookies as well, as we come through out of turn 2. I expect to see Brandon stick with that 96 for a little while here in the career mode. And Harrison Burton, not quite sure what's going to happen for him yet, as we're 3 wide now as we come through turns 3 and 4 there. Bubba Wallace forced it up the inside now as we're once again 3 wide with now Bubba and Briscoe on the exit of turn 4, but we all fade out into just double file as we came through to complete the first and opening lap going down into the corner. Bubba Wallace now gets taken 3 wide by Briscoe, so he does the same thing Bubba did now, as we're just kind of on the receiving end of all these 3 wide moves right now. On the start of this race is Chase Elliott. He's up our inside. He's had a a really rough start to the season here in the career mode, which is really surprising because he's got one of the better driver ratings in the career mode. So I definitely expect to see better out of Elliott, and I'm honestly not going to touch the driver rating because, like I just said, it's one of the best ones in the career mode, so I expect to see some improvements throughout the season from that 9 car. He's just in a bit of a slump right now, as Matt DiBenedetto right behind us there on the exit of turn 2. Now as we go down this back straightaway, clearing the 9 of Elliott, then we've now put the attack to Brad Keselowski as we trying to get ourselves back into the top 10, but Eric Jones, he had now worked his way up a little bit there in that number 02 McLaren Chevrolet Camaro. As we go down toward turn 3, though, now the 02 nearly runs right into the back of us into turn 3, and that really would have been bad for Eric. He would have probably got spun around, but now he comes through out of turn 4. He gets up the inside of me, so we're side by side down the front straightaway, and now Eric Jones, after we just passed Keselowski to get into the top 10, well, Eric's going to come through and take that 10th position away from me. So once again, back outside of the top 10 now is Kyle Busch. He's going to get up my inside on the exit of turn 2. I got really tight there, allowing DiBenedetto as well to get up the inside as we go down into turn 3, so now he passes me as well. So we drift down to P13, and Matt DiBenedetto, he would kind of get on the move. He passed Kyle Busch, he passed Eric Jones, and knew he was passing Bubba Wallace as well, but the caution comes out for the first time here today at Phoenix Raceway. Could not find in the replay what caused the yellow, but either way, we would all be staying out here during the caution break, so no pit stops necessary as you see the current order, and it looks like maybe it's Chase Elliott who has actually brought out the caution. So very unfortunate there, but he did not DNF, so Chase Elliott still remaining in this race as Martin Truex Jr. and now Noah Gragson are on the front row. And definitely some questions circulating here in the career mode. Will Martin Truex Jr. hang it up at the end of the season? That question is yet to be answered, and I'm sure we're going to find out at some point now as we get into the back there of the 02 on at the restart as we go down into turn 1. And Eric Jones' teammate, Zane Smith, he's starting to get up into the mix now just behind us as we got our teammate of Kyle Larson there on my outside out of turn 2, side by side with the 8 of Tyler Reddick, who picked up his first career victory here in the career mode just recently at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So we know Tyler, he's going to be a playoff contender this season as we come through out of turn 4. Cole Custer has actually taken the lead away from Martin Truex Jr. as another driver like Custer looking for their very first career win as well here as we get back into P13. So far, not the first stage we were definitely looking for, qualified 10th, but we've been really spending the most of this first stage outside of the top 10 here as we're up the inside of the defending champion and former teammate of Kyle Busch as we came through now to lap 13. Unfortunately, couldn't complete the pass on Kyle. He had a lot of speed there on that second lane and would hold me off very well there and hold on to that 12th position now as Truex, so he would get back to the lead, and then he would bring Ross Chastain into second place with him, and then Chase Briscoe, he was now up into P3 here as we go to the outside now of Kyle into turn 3, and I've learned in past Phoenix races you can really make this second lane work, and Kyle just made it work on us, so now I'm going to make it work on him now as we came through out of turn 2 on lap 14, passing the 18, then getting alongside Kevin Harvick here as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3 side by side with him, and Kyle Busch actually forces it 3 wide at the last second into the corner. Fortunately, we all avoid contact there, but a very late move from Kyle, and then we're 3 wide again with Reddick up the inside, so just this rough first stage continues as we go down into turn 1, and we get forced 3 wide again. There was Harrison Burton, and the number 95 got into the mix now, and we drop all the way down to P14 as we battle with Kevin Harvick. Harrison Burton moving his way throughout the field. That 95 car won this race last season in the career mode with Christopher Bell picking up his first win, and then that 95 won at Martinsville just a little bit ago at the end of last season now as it came through now to the outside 3 wide with Bubba Wallace as well as a 95 of Harrison Burton as we exit turn 4, going down this front straightaway side by side now as we start the final lap of stage 1 with that 23 of Bubba Wallace as we go down through the center of 1 and 2. Definitely a lot of questions as well as about that 95 car. Will this be the final season for the 95 car in the career mode? Very well could be. Look for an announcement soon on that as well here as we go down the back straightaway into turns 3 for the final time here at Phoenix Raceway. Bowman, he's started pole, he's dropped back quite a bit now as well as we exit turns 4. Actually, Bowman blows an engine coming to the line at the end of stage 1. He gets P11, we get P13, but that is going to be the end of Alex Bowman's race. He is actually now DNF'd 2 races in a row. He is out here today at Phoenix. That really sucked. I just saw the engine come out of the 48 there, blow up on the car there as it came across the line. That's really unfortunate for him. There you heard myself on the radio now as we would come into the pit lane for the first time here today for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires, but very unfortunate for Alex Bowman now, as I would actually make some adjustments on the car with the wedge as well as the tire pressures. It felt a little bit too tight, so I decided to try and loosen it up a bit. Quinn Helf currently at the very bottom of the field. Joey Logano having a bit of a rough race now, as we actually gain a good chunk of ground on the pit lane, up now into the 9th position inside the top 10 as the green flag is out, and stage 2 is underway. Noah Gregson on my outside. We're right on the back of that 0-2 of Eric Jones, who's having a strong race so far. And for the start of stage 2, of course, we're going to go into the amp segment here, but we're going to do it a little bit differently here. We're actually going to just have some raw gameplay instead of the replay cameras, and let me know actually in the comments if you like the raw gameplay amped up more or the replay cameras more now as we go into the amp segment.
Looking inside now. Clear low, clear low. Looking inside now. Careful, still there.
Alright, there you had the amped segment here in Phoenix Raceway. Now, like I said, mention in the comments what you like more from the past episodes, either the replay cameras or the raw gameplay. I just kind of wanted to experiment a little bit. Personally, I think we're going to stick with the replay cameras now for the future episodes as we came through, though. On lap 7, you saw based off that restart, we were not able to really get inside the top 10, and it would kind of stay like that here for the majority of this second stage so far, as we were now on lap 11, and we were still running P11 now, as I just could not really close the gap on these guys in front of us at the start of the stage. I was really struggling. Cole Custer running in that 10th position, but we had zero pressure from behind, absolutely nothing in terms of competition right on our back bumper or anything. So we had a good gap to 12th now and back. Now as there was drivers like Kyle Larson all up in that mix, Zane Smith and whatnot here as we came through, though a little bit later now on lap 15, and we were starting to close the gap a little bit to the cars up ahead here of Cole Custer as well as Noah Gregson, Ross Chastain up there in that 8th position. So we just continue to close the gap just a little bit now as we came through on lap 17, just ever so slightly closer, but obviously not close enough. But that's going to change right now as a caution has come out here once again now, as Martin Truex Jr., Chase Briscoe, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, and Harrison Burton round out your top 5. Everybody coming into the pit lane here, as we're going to take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires. I was a little bit surprised by the pace in the car there, because the car, it was driving fine, it felt really good there, it was turning well. I definitely felt like the adjustments that we had made at the end of stage 1 really helped, but clearly we were just kind of lacking speed right there, so hopefully we can turn that around here for the end of the second stage. We gained 2 positions once again on the pit lane, so back into 9th place as the green flag is out, and it will be 5 laps to go here in the second stage. Matt Benedetto side by side right in front of us with the number 42 of Ross Chastain there for Chip Ganassi Racing as we are underway into turn 1. Martin Truex Jr. so far has been having a very strong race, and he looks to continue that now as he's looking for his first win actually of the season here in the career mode. Right behind us we got our teammate Kyle Larson, who was side by side with the 41 of Cole Custer. Then we got Hamlin back there, then we got the 20 car, sorry, of Christopher Bell as we came through at a turn 4, still side by side though with the 42 with 4 laps to go here in the second stage as we go down into turn 1. Doing my best to clear that 42 of Chastain, but he's doing a very strong job right there holding that second lane, and out of turn 2 he's actually going to be able to clear myself down the back straightaway. So that was a bit frustrating for myself, and then we came through now to just 2 laps to go, and you can see it actually opened up the gap between himself and I now as Hamlin, he had moved himself now up into 10th place and was trying to get right to the back of me as we came through to start the final lap now of stage 2. Martin Truex Jr. still out in front over second place, which now belongs to Eric Jones in the number 02 McLaren car. Now a lot of questions about that move, about Jones going from Hendrick to McLaren, but it seems to be working so far as we go down at this back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time here in stage 2. Chastain just in front of us in P8. We'll hold on to it as it's all single file in front of us as we come through to cross the line here in P9 in stage 2, and now as we hold off Denny Hamlin, who gets that 10 spot. Larson down there in P11 now, as a very strong end to stage 2 considering we spent all before that caution came out, we were outside of the top 10 here, so definitely unfortunately a nice little rebound as we get ready to go green for the third and final stage, but nobody coming into the pit lane here as we just pitted under that last caution. So that will definitely force us into a position where we may have to come into the pit lane on a green flag cycle now as William Byron. He was actually coming into the pit lane, so a couple drivers choosing to pit. Byron has had a strong start to the season, some bad luck, but actually seems to be lacking some speed here today. But we get ready to take the green flag now for the start of the third and final stage, which is now underway. Martin Truex Jr. and Eric Jones in the McLaren. First season ever for McLaren in NASCAR, and they are starting it off strong here as we go down into turn one. Zane Smith, he's had some showings of speed at Daytona as well as Auto Club, and now here Eric Jones is putting on a very good run for really, I think, the first time this season for him as we go down the back straightaway. 3 wide behind us between Hamlin, Chastain, as well as our teammate Kyle Larson on the very bottom now as we go down into turn 3. Up the inside of the 8 of Tyler Reddick as we come through out of turn 4, but immediately Reddick's going to be able to get ahead of us and clear as we go down this front straightaway, completing the first lap of this third and final stage. Now as Larson gets taken 3 wide behind us by Cole Custer there through the center of 1 and 2, so Custer now moves up inside the top 10 as well here again in Phoenix. We know that 41 has a strong car. He's actually been one of the stronger drivers right now. We lead the standings coming into Phoenix, but it's been Cole Custer up there in the top 3 in standings having a good run now, so we've got to keep an eye on him as he actually gets up my inside there as we came through to cross the line, hitting lap 52 as I really did not try to defend over him because he was just really fast there on the exit of turn 4. But now second place belongs to Harrison Burton instead of Eric Jones. As you can see right in front of us, Jones is dropped all the way down to 7th place here as we're going into turn 3, still side by side with the 41, a little bit of contact there on his right rear, but now Custer up the inside of the number 02 on the exit of the corner. So we would continue though to try and follow Cole Custer as we would get up the inside of Eric on the exit of turn 4, coming through now to lap 54 with just 25 laps to go in this race. There ever so slight contact on that left rear of the 02 as we go down into turn 1, doing everything I can to try and get clear of Jones and then go follow Cole, hopefully throughout the rest of the field and maybe get into the top 5 here, but unfortunately we have yet to be in the top 5 here today, and unfortunately we also will not get into the P8 position as Jones would hold us off and actually start to gap us a little bit now as we came to the 20 laps to go, but we had also started to gap 10th place on back, so now we've really spent a good chunk of this race outside the top 10, but here we are in position to at least get a top 10 here as we go down this backstretch on lap 59. So we came through on lap 61 and we had actually run Eric Jones back down and started to put a little bit of pressure on him once again now as we came through out of turn 4, less than 20 laps to go at this point as Martin Truex Jr., Harrison Burton, and Chase Briscoe run first through third now as they cannot get away from each other, and then Kyle Busch is 4th on back to us here in the 9th position now as we came through out of turn 2. I actually approached this corner a little bit different, trying to get a really good run on the back of Jones, and it worked, and then we would try it again on lap 63 and we get another good run down the back straightaway, and this time we actually get a good enough run to make a move of the inside of the number 02 McLaren Camaro as we go into turn 3, but unfortunately can't quite clear Eric, and he has so much momentum on the exit of the corner that he would just clear me instead. Up ahead, though, you see some Stewart-Haas cars running really well here today. DeBenedetto inside the top 10, same for Briscoe as well as Custer. Harvick, surprisingly, is the one that seems to be struggling there as now Jones stays clear, but you see the tire light has come on now with 14 laps to go. We have to get ready here to make a green flag pit stop relatively soon now as the tires on the right side of the car at Phoenix Raceway always wear very quick now, and they seem to wear a lot faster than the AI drivers, so we actually usually have to pit a good 5 to 7 laps or so before these other drivers at Phoenix usually, and it seems to be the only track where that happens. Now as a caution actually comes out with 14 laps to go and saves that from happening, and now everybody will be coming in at the same time under the yellow flag for 2 cans, or not 2 cans of fuel actually. We are going to just put 1 can of fuel in the car, and we're not going to do 4 tires. We're going to put right side tires on the car, and that's it. And now you see I make very small adjustments once again to the car to try and free it up just a little bit more now as we get ready to go green for what could potentially be the final restart here in Phoenix Raceway. So we are coming into the pit lane in the 9th position, but you look down the order, the Penske driver is really struggling today now, and other than Joey Logano's Daytona 500 victory and maybe a good run at Las Vegas at the end of that race, the Penske team's been kind of struggling now, so maybe they're kind of missing a little bit here starting the season as we get ready to go green. Martin Truex Jr., Harrison Burton, and Chase Briscoe round out your top 3 as a green flag is back out as we start lap 69. Nice, now 10 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway for the Fan Shield 500 as we go down into turn 1 up the inside of the 0 McLaren 02 of Eric Jones, who's had a very good run today, but now as he's on the outside lane, he could actually be at risk of maybe losing a potential top 10 after what is, like as just said, has been such a strong run for him here. As we go down into turn 3, you see Matt Benedetto trying to get up into the mix there and get into the top 3, passing the 95 of Harrison Burton there, nearly into the left rear quarter panel of the 8 of Tyler Reddick. Cindric now a rookie into the top 10, as he's really been battling this whole race from the back of the field after I think he failed inspection, if I remember correctly, and now here he is inside the top 10 when it matters the most with less than 10 laps to go in this race, as Reddick is up the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch, who did not really seem to fire off very well on that restart. Now he's under fire from both Reddick and myself. They're 3 wide on the exit of turn 4, but it's not going to work for myself. A very awkward corner for myself. There is now Eric Jones getting passed by his rookie teammate of Zane Smith as we go down into turn 1. So Jones kind of falling off here in the final 10 laps of this race, and Smith now moves himself into the top 10. He would pass Cindric and get up into P9. Then I get up the inside of Kyle Busch finally on lap 71, coming to lap 72, and I cut down on the dogleg. Haven't really done that very much in this race. There really hasn't been a need to, but we came through to 7 laps to go, and sure enough, into turns 1 and 2, Kyle fights back on that outside, but it's not going to be enough from him. We will clear Kyle Busch on the exit of turn 2 and try to run down Tyler Reddick before this race is over, and we came through now to 4 laps to go, and we had closed up that gap a little bit to Reddick. Kyle Busch behind us, he had held on to that 8th position quite comfortably here in these final laps now, as Chase Briscoe was all over the back of Martin Truex Jr. for the race victory, looking for his 3rd career win, but it was Stuart Haas 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, with De Benedetto in 3rd, and then the 41 of Cole Custer there in that 4th position now, as we would dive up the inside of the 8 of Tyler Reddick with just 2 laps to go here in Phoenix Raceway. Side by side on the exit of turn 2 now, as there you see behind us Kyle Busch in that 8th position still, but clearly nowhere near close enough to make any move on us now as we come through out of turn 4. Reddick holds that 2nd lane well as we come through to start the final lap. Truex continuing to lead. He's been defending all day long, it seems like. I honestly don't think Truex has the fastest car, but he's just planted his car in the right spot to where no one's been able to pass him now, as Briscoe and De Benedetto are right on his back as we come through, clearing Reddick out of turn 2 down the back straightaway for the final time here in Phoenix Raceway. We spent a good chunk of this race outside of the top 10. We made some adjustments, made this car better, and we have rallied up into the 6th position behind Harrison Burton as Martin Truex Jr. picks up his first win of the season here in Phoenix for the Fan Shield 500 as we come through to cross the line in the 6th position, just barely beating Tyler Reddick there. Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, they round out the top 10. You see Briscoe, De Benedetto, Custer, Burton all round out the top 5. Chastain there in 12th. Eric Jones in the McLaren 02 car down there in P13, but some struggles from our teammates for sure here today, as we definitely need to, as a whole, for Hendrick Motorsports, really need to go to the drawing board if we're going to have a super team now, as Alex Bowman, he's DNF'd 2 races in a row now, none of his doing mechanical failures in both of the last 2 races now, as we continue to lead the standings though, but that gap's closing quite quick between myself and Truex and Custer and whatnot. I don't think we quite have the just speed that we did last season in the 20 cars so far, but that of course could change hopefully here in the coming races now, as you see the standings for the Truck Series at the end of this episode. The Truck Series will return when we get to Atlanta now, as they get quite the break at the start of the season here, but Grant Enfinger leads the playoff standings there. Rajah Caruth there at the very bottom. Then we come through to check out the Xfinity standings as well. Michael Annett with 2 wins on the season already. He leads the Xfinity playoff standings, and we are currently in P10 with our Hendrick Motorsports affiliated car, or the Going Racing car, but it's affiliated with JRM and HMS and whatnot. But there you see the Cup Series playoff grid as well. Zane Smith down there in P10. You see I did get the numbers changed for Kyle Larson in the point standings as well as William Byron, but definitely still need to fix Zane Smith, as well as a few other drivers like Eric Jones and whatnot. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do. In the next one, we will be going to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Excited for that one. But before we end this, I just want to say thank you to the Go On Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Tony, Dylan, Joseph, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Mr. Johnson, as well as NASCAR on Docs. You guys help me a lot, and like I said before, if you're not in the Discord, message me, make sure you get in there, and we'll get you in that chat. And I just want to say thank you all for taking the time out of your day for watching this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.